The Late Night Movie Podcast is officially 1 year old. To celebrate, we're looking back at some of our favourite moments from the last year with a mini award show, and we also look ahead to the future. Let's discuss all this and more on the Late Night Movie Podcast. Hello, everyone. Apologies. I just realised I've got the gaming podcast theme in the background, so let me quickly change that. This is the movie podcast, I promise you. And welcome, everyone. I am your host, Welchy. Joining me tonight, as always, is Mr. Pop Figures himself, Andy.
Hello, guys. Yeah, no, I can't believe it's been 1 year anniversary on the movie side. That's crazy.
You wouldn't
Goes
believe
well
it if
quick.
you watch the intro to this movie, this episode, because it's a gaming podcast.
Yeah, true.
And our resident horror expert, Stephen.
Yes, hello everybody. Happy first birthday to the Late Night Movie Podcast. That's scary that we're a year down the line, and yeah, it's a chance for us to take stock and talk about all of the good bits of last year, and then look ahead to many more years of the Late Night Movie Podcast. Hopefully,
Yeah, it's crazy because originally it was just a gaming podcast, and Andy started doing a few of them, and then at the end of the gaming podcast, we used to do like a what we've been watching part. So it's like a small sliver of the gaming podcast. And then at some point, I pulled the trigger and said, you know what? It's probably worth having a whole podcast for it. There's enough to talk about. We spent it longer and longer on that section.
Yeah,
And it spawned this podcast. And it has brought some of the most successful parts of the late night podcast in general has been from this podcast, which we'll talk about soon. So yeah, it's been really good. Crazy that it's been a year. Crazy that this time next year we will be talking about hopefully Avengers Doomsday. In terms of gaming, with GTA should be here. Who knows?
yeah. Oh, yeah, true.
Probably not. But in terms of movies, we've got a lot of movies to look forward to. But today's more about what we've done in the last 12 months. So yeah, tonight we are celebrating the Late Night Movie Podcast. In that time, we have reviewed countless different movies. I mean, Steven's almost done 100, like so close to 100 himself.
Almost.
We're most of the way through our A to Z movie series. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
haven't finished it yet, but we will get there. We've interviewed a director and a producer of a movie, which is massive for us. And we've had many, many fun quiz shows. I want to start today discussing my throat's still bad, our favourite moments in the last 12 months. Stephen, what has been your favourite moments or episodes that we've done in these last 12 months?
so I think like we've done a lot, and there's been a lot of like great conversations. I think I have to say the two sort of ZombieCon things that we did. I think firstly our review, and then which then led into the interview. I still think that for a first time, that interview I think was really successful, and you could really tell that both Carl and
Erin.
yeah. It's been a long night. I know that they're probably listening, so I don't want it to sound really bad if I remember one name and then not the other. But they were so engaged, and they really like took the time to give really clear cut answers. They're really eloquent with their responses as well. And I think it's very easy when you interview that you can kind of mess that up really, or sort of spend too long actually talking about what you want to say rather than getting the answer for the question that you're asking the people. That to me was a great podcast. I thought our Strange Thing one recently, which I know that is, I believe, our most successful podcast to date. And I thought that was really good. And the reason why it was also really successful is because we had really good, interesting conversations about our favourite characters, predictions, and it flew really nicely. I loved sort of Halloween horror one. I could basically say every single podcast that we've done I enjoy. But I think if I had to pick one, it's the ZombieCon. I think it's probably our best work to date. That's not to disregard all of the other stuff that we've done, but in terms of quality of doing something that is completely out of our comfort zone, I felt that was really, really good.
It's funny because most of those things you're talking about have happened in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be in a similar vein. I'll let Andy go first, but not to say that our first 9 months weren't good. They were. But I feel like the content, as it naturally should, get better and better over time.
Yeah.
And these last 2 or 3 months have been our best work, which is good. Which is a good place to be, because you want to always be. You want every episode should always hopefully be your best work. So it's good.
I think as well, like what really helps us is that now that we have, well, we've released 4 podcasts, but we're doing it in stages, so it's becoming much more specific. Because I think in the past, when it used to just be all in one, we would then find it hard to kind of keep track. And I'm probably the one that is probably worse at this, because I will talk on and on. And that's only because I'm so passionate about movies and video games as well. So sometimes if there's something I really want to talk about, I will go into real detail. But for me, having it as 4 separate ones kind of keeps me on track and kind of keeps me focused to what the main part of it is. So I think that's been a real help. I don't know if you guys agree, but that works not just for releasing, so people are listening to short podcasts which are more engaging, but for us as well. I think it keeps us on track, really.
Yeah.
I think it's worked nicely, that.
I agree. I always go back and forward with this decision whether to go back to 1. I think I even put it in a group chat with us recently saying I'm considering it. But then we have the Stranger Things episode, which blew up, and then I say blew up, for us it blew up. And recording wise, it works. It's a bit more work on the uploading side and thumbnails and stuff, blah blah blah. But I do think it works, and at the moment we're not planning on changing that. Andy, what are your highlights of the last 12 months on the movie side?
Yeah, sort of echo everything that Stephen said, especially with the ZombieCon. That was quite a fun episode. But I think my standout episodes have been more sort of the quizzes. I've really enjoyed sort of doing the quiz, even though I'm losing.
Even though you're losing,
so it is fun doing those and sort of almost getting a refresher of some of the old gems out there. And it's crazy how when you're under pressure on a quiz, how easy you can forget things. And obviously, one of the standout ones is the Black Panther question.
Yes.
I'll never live that down. Like I watched it back earlier today on YouTube. I was like, oh, I can't believe I said that. But it's just when you're on the spot. So those sort of episodes always sort of found fun and funny. I like the sort of games that we do, and hopefully there'll be sort of more going forward, different ones. So obviously this year the Rotten Tomatoes game.
Yeah.
Which we haven't wrapped that one up yet, have we? But yes, that's my competitive side probably coming out, and it's got me more sort of engaged, I guess, in sort of keeping an eye out on what movies are coming out next year, getting more excited, especially next year. I think next year is a big year for movies, and that's crazy saying it after the year we've just had for movies. But already, like, when I was sort of going through writing down the list of names, I'm thinking, bloody hell, we've got Odyssey, Toy Story, loads of other films coming out next year. So sort of, yeah, those sort of episodes I enjoy doing. So hopefully we have more games going forward, and then just generally the reviews, but the ones where it goes one way or the other, where we all agree, it can sort of make it fun. So, and ones where we disagree. So especially like I don't know, Half Nelson, obviously that was one where we all thought it was bad and sort of agreed on it, and it made it more sort of interesting conversation. And I don't want to give away some of my answers
for the
award some of the other questions we have, but yeah, the other episodes where Stephen might disagree with my opinion, I disagree with his opinion, or I disagree with your opinion, Welchy. The ones where it sort of all goes against each other, and it's like I would say one thing, Stephen's saying one thing, you're saying another thing, and it just makes that whole conversation a lot funner with the debate and the different point of views that we have. So yeah, they're the sort of episodes that I've enjoyed doing sort of the most.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'd agree. I mean, I think at the beginning of the year, or let's say beginning of this podcast, if you said in the first year we'd interview a director and a producer, I'd have said I really, really doubt it. Like I hope so. It would have been like I really fucking hope so. But to actually do that is great for us, and it has been great for us. And I'm hoping next time they do a movie, we'll be able to interview them again, and we should hopefully get more opportunities to interview other people. I think hopefully it showcased that we can do it, and we did it well. So I was really happy with that one. Again, the quiz is always good. I love hosting them. Absolutely love hosting them. I love planning them, and then I love seeing you struggle with answers that I know you know. I know you know them, but on the spot, as you say, Andy, it's tough.
It's like that whole "Who Wants to Be a Millionaire" thing of it's only easy if you know the answer, and you should know the answer, but then the pressure and limited time and all of that kind of stuff means that things are sort of like taken away. I also think another thing that I want to sort of just add is that I do think it's crazy that we do 2 detailed podcasts on movies and gaming, because like those 2 hobbies are like a real dedication. If you're watching movies, it takes a lot of your time. Gaming is the same. So the fact that we're keeping on top of, like, for me, the fact that I'm keeping on top of like all of the movies and TV shows that I'm watching and gaming above everything else that I then do, I'm like, I sort of sit there and thought, how the fuck do I do this? Like, how am I generally finding the time to get all of these kind of stuff in? And then also like coming out of like a screening, I'll be sitting in the car, and rather than like driving home like a normal person, I would be like writing up my notes, and that's become like a rite of passage on anything that I'm watching. Or I'll go, oh, okay, I now need to write up in detail sort of a movie review or bits and pieces that I then want to bring to the podcast. And then the other thing happens where you'll be giving all your notes, we'll end the recording, and I'll be sitting in bed going, fuck, I wish I'd said that. All that. Even with all the planning preparation that you do, there's always those little bits. And when I'm listening back going, I kind of wish I said that, or, oh, I should have mentioned that. And I just think it's, it's interesting. It just shows that we're really passionate about both of these 2 things. And I think that's what makes the podcast so engaging, because you can hopefully comes across that all 3 of us really have either got a big passion for, in this case, for movies. And I think that comes across.
I think it's also, for me, uncovered a lot of gems, particularly from you, Welchy, making suggestions. So things like Invincible.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know where he was going there, Andy. I was going to say a lot of my suggestions have not been good this year, but
no, not on the A to Z. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. But Invincible is a great idea.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have watched that if we weren't doing the podcast, because I don't think, like, none of my other friends, I don't think have watched it. Like, no one else mentioned it, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much of it would have popped up without us sort of talking about it, because they're always listening to you. Yeah. And then like Paradise, another good example, one that you mentioned, I watched, and the Spider-Man show. Like, those are all shows that potentially you've recommended that I potentially would have watched. So it's uncovered some good TV in moments.
So it seems I'm good at TV recommendations, not films.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have like watched Invincible either, and I only really kind of jumped onto it because the way you both were talking about it, I kind of also felt a little bit sort of left out. So I was like, I'm going to start watching this. Probably not going to be my kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, it hit, and I was like, this is great. I do tend to lean more towards movies. I mean, the TV that I watch is more mainstream. I've got such a big Netflix list, but it's just, again, sometimes you can't watch every single show that is out there and game as well. But and obviously I spend a lot of my time at cinema, which again, I think isn't because of the podcast, because I was doing that before, but I do think that it's kind of made me go to pretty much everything else. Because I'm like, well, if it's a really shit film, that'll be a fun review to do on the podcast. And it's that simple thing. You go to cinema a lot, you see a trailer, you're like, okay, that looks interesting. I'll note that down and then book it. And sometimes, like, both you'll be talking about something, and I'll go, oh, okay, I might go and watch that, or it gives you lots of different ideas. So, but yeah, for you, Welchy, Invincible was definitely the highlight.
Yeah, and obviously that's coming again next year, season 4.
Yeah,
which we'll definitely be doing a lot of content around that. In terms of other favorite moments on the podcast, the Stranger Things episode was great. I didn't expect it to be our most successful one, but obviously it has been. But I do enjoy our A to Z series. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
They're actually probably our least successful episodes, because there's not many people searching these older movies. In today's,
that gives us the chance to watch older movies.
Yes, in terms of, and I'm liking that we're ranking them and we're scoring them, and at the end when we get to Z, we can see what was our best of the A to Z. And the Rotten Tomatoes game, I love that. We're going to do it again in January. Sorry, my coughing. I'm really looking forward to, and just reviews in general. I think we've done a lot of good reviews this year. Sometimes it's just you two, sometimes it's one of us, sometimes it's all 3 of us. But I think we, like you say, Stephen, we've covered most ground, most things.
Yeah.
I can't think of any major movie that hasn't been covered by one of us. Maybe not by a title, but it might not have been a headline of our podcast, but it's within it. I can't think. Can think of one.
I think we've pretty much covered all of the big hitters for 2025. I think it's the only sort of minute sort of limited releases. I
Yeah.
mean, I think what I think is quite impressive that I probably can count on one hand the few movies that I've missed, but I've only missed it because there's just too many movies out, or like I really wanted to see the who directed The Monkey. I can't remember his name actually, the director, which is weird for me. It's like Osgood.
Perkins. Is it Perkins or something?
No, I thought it was something Osgood, but I can't remember the first name.
I swear it's
Or
Perkins. Something
it
Perkins.
might be. Anyway, he released a new horror movie called Keeper.
Oh, that's him.
Oh
Oscar,
yeah.
Oscar
Yeah,
Perkins, that's it.
it's tanked, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's tanked in the Rotten
Well,
Tomatoes.
it came
is it
out
not
on
that
like it came out on the 14th of November. I wanted to ideally probably see it this week at cinema, so it had 10 days of a release
I
in our
think
local Odeon.
I remember mentioning this to both of you like a couple of months ago.
Oh, because they
saying-
showed it at the end. The monkey did.
It was at the end of
No,
The
it was-
Monkey, the trailer.
Or was that something
No,
else?
that was something
No, that
else.
was Keeper. No, that was Keeper.
When I mentioned it, it wasn't after the monkey. It was like middle of the year, and I said, "Oh, there's a
Yeah.
trailer," and I said it's called Keeper. Like I think it's going to be good. And it's been in my calendar since that day. And
Yeah.
I saw the Rotten Tomatoes. I saw the stuff online. I was like, okay, no, I'm not going to go watch that. It's Osgood
yeah.
Perkins.
Yeah, Oscar Perkins. That's what I. It was the first. I got the first name. I couldn't remember the surname. It's weird. But yeah, at the end of The Monkey, they showed that trailer. At the very end, because being Andy stayed. But yeah, like it's had 10-day release. So even with that Rotten Tomato score, I would have still seen it. But gone. Got now wait for it to probably jump onto some kind of streaming, like other films like recently After the Hunt and then Roofman. But these are ones that I'll try and pick up and watch, particularly if they've been really successful before we get to movie of the year.
Yeah, I also liked our episodes that we do, like the Mount Rushmores. I always find them interesting.
Oh yeah, they're really fun episodes.
And also, what I've really started liking and enjoying, and I think people enjoy it as well, is when we do our top 10. We find a list online.
Oh, the list.
We say what we think it should be, compare it.
Yeah,
I enjoy doing them a lot.
I also liked when we went through the years of like our top 10 movies.
Top movie of the year each year, but that's still going on. We haven't finished that on a movie. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course we haven't.
Yeah.
We've got what year we got up to? Like 2015.
We haven't done 2015 yet, so I think that's next. 2015 to 19.
We did 2010 to 2014.
Yeah.
Also, two special shout outs. I remember like the anger when I heard Andy slating both Jules and Pearl were just moments that I just had to really hold it in there. More so Jaws than Pearl, because Pearl is very Marmite.
Yes.
But the fact that you say Jaws is an awful movie, I still.
If you want to talk about those, we can easily bring up Kill List and how you thought that was a good film. So.
Yeah, sure. But I think Jaws is worse than that. Like it's like one of the greatest
Jaws
movies
is worse,
ever made.
worse film than Kill List?
No, your review of Jaws is worse than that.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, we can't spend all day just big blowing our heads up saying how good we are, but let's go on to our mini award show. So I did put it on Discord, and I will read some of your comments soon, I promise. But just to start off, we're going to go through 5 categories I think I made. So we're not going to spend too long because we haven't got too long on the podcast. So we need to keep it relatively brief. But we're going to start off with our most surprising movie or TV show of the last 12 months. So it doesn't have to be a 2025 release. Just from when the podcast started, basically, which is roughly this time last year. Andy, let's start with you on this one.
Okay, I wasn't really sure what to go for on this one because a lot of films, and I have gone for a 2025 release because obviously that's what I've watched most of this year, especially with having Limitless and going to the cinema. But I went for a film that I watched more recently, and it wasn't sort of the typical film that I'd usually go and watch and enjoy.
Can I have a guess?
My dad. Yep.
I swear.
It is, I swear. Yeah, just because when I watched that film, I was like blown away by how powerful it felt, and the casting. His name's Robert, who plays John Davison, who's the actual guy in real life with Tourette's. I thought his performance was incredible, and yeah, that whole film was. Like when I saw the trailer, I thought, "Oh, that looks good." I did say to Beth, "Oh, we should go watch it. It looks good." But for me to sort of say that about a drama, like the trailer must have sort of hooked me on it already. Usually I'm watching action films. Don't really go to romantic films, but actions, adventure, sci-fi, those sort of films are, and obviously especially horror this year, are the sort of typical genres that I go for. So when I saw this film and then actually watched it, it was very emotional. It's sort of a roller coaster journey. It's the one film that I say, if anyone asks me what film should I watch this year, I'd say I Swear. It's, for me, it was that good. I did have a couple of other sort of mentions in there with sort of companion, because that sort of threw me on and off with the direction it was going. At one point, I thought, and I know both Steve and I spoke about it, the first trailer where she's set on fire, the main actress, and then it doesn't really show much else. And then sort of you get the sort of second trailer where it sort of talks about AI and stuff. And then when you start watching that film, it sort of completely throws you off, in my opinion anyway, that where the hell is the AI in this, until you get sort of further in. So that was another sort of surprising movie for me. But yeah, it would be I Swear as the main one.
Yeah, I before we even started this podcast, I knew you was going to pick that for that one. Is it the same one for you, Stephen? Or you got something else?
I do have something else. I mean, I really enjoyed I Swear. I echo everything that Andy said, but I wasn't kind of surprised because from the trailer, I thought it was going to be a very good film. Didn't think it was going to be like a 10 out of 10, which is what I rated it on the podcast, but I was like, that's going to be anywhere from 8 and up. So I wasn't sort of fully surprised in that sense. But the movie that I have picked, and I've picked this one because it's well known that I'm not a huge fan of this, but I've got into it particularly this year. I have selected, I don't know if you want to guess,
Fantastic
but
Four.
what Marvel film?
Fantastic Four. It's got to be
Yeah.
Marvel film.
So the reason why is, I mean, before that we had seen
Captain America and Thunderbolts.
Yeah. So we see Captain America and Thunderbolts, both of whom I quite enjoyed. Captain America because of it being essentially the sequel to the Incredible Hulk, which I liked, and Thunderbolts because it had quite powerful messages, and it surprised me in that sense. So that's an honorable mention. But the Fantastic Four: First Steps is the first Marvel film that I can think of outside of the Deadpool movies, where when I came out of the screening, I could have gone right back in and watched it all over again. I thought it was a masterpiece of a movie, and I was so blown away by how good that movie was from start, middle, and end. And I can't wait to actually rewatch it as well, because I just think it's a really fun movie with great characters, brilliantly acted. And it was sort of the movie where I'm like, okay, I'm now getting myself back into the MCU, and next year I'm gonna, well, depending on, we might do a series that forces me to do this, but I want to go back and watch like the main Avengers movies. I'm not gonna go back and watch all of the MCU, but I'm now back on that MCU train, which for a long time was just, I couldn't care about them. I didn't want to know about them. I'm sort of in that rarity where everyone in the world was talking about Avengers Endgame. I was just sitting there thinking, what horror movie can I now go to? So obviously there's been loads of horror movies that have been amazing this year, some good, and there have been some absolute stinkers. But I feel like Companion, I was blown away by. Weapons as well, which I know that's another mention that Andy didn't like, but I loved Weapons. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, that movie is so cleverly done. But there has been so many great work. I think the other surprise one would be 28 Years Later. I was surprised at just how awful that movie was. But I'll stick with Fantastic Four. That was a surprise.
We could have actually had another category for most disappointing. Didn't think of that.
Well, it would be 28 Years Later.
Yeah.
So my answer anyway.
Yeah, I guess so, because worst movie and disappointing in terms of
different. It can be a good movie, but it wasn't as good as you wanted it to be.
Yeah, in terms of what you was expecting from it. Yeah.
I do think, like, if we're talking about that briefly as like a sub category, it would be that, and it would also be Good Boy, because those are the two movies that I've come in and when I've walked out, I've been so disappointed. 28 Years Later is like the higher one. Like I'm still upset about that now. I've got a poster in my room and I still don't really, I like the poster, but it pains me every time I look at it. And Good Boy, just because it could have been so much better than what it was. But
Good Boy was a good film. But going back to Marvel quickly, I was re-listening to our Rotten Tomatoes video where we sort of selected the movies that we wanted for the game, and you, Welchy, mentioned, you was talking about Marvel. He's like, I don't trust Marvel. I'm not going to sort of choose Captain America or Thunderbolts. Obviously, Thunderbolts has done really well. You sort of chose Fantastic Four going against sort of what you wanted to choose, really. But obviously that done well and scored you a decent amount of points. But yeah, if you chose Captain America, that scored like 40 points. So it's
But
lucky.
Thunderbolts did even better, right?
Thunderbolts did better.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thunderbolts did well as well. So if you chose those two, and maybe that'll change your opinion on Marvel next year in terms of
No.
trusting them a bit more in terms of selections.
No. The thing is,
Like-
Avengers films do very well, which we'll talk about this in obviously that episode. But
Yeah.
I'm so scared. I just can't do
Still
it.
don't trust them.
Don't get me wrong. If I'm getting to like the last films, I don't know what to pick, then maybe. But I imagine someone's going to pick that before then.
Yeah,
Thunderbolt's
that's
got a
definitely
higher-
episode I recommend going back and listening to, because it was so funny just re-listening to it. The films that Stephen were
now.
choosing, and then when I was saying like shaking my head, is I don't know why you're shaking your head at me, and then it's like looking at the scores now, and it's like that's why I was shaking your head, my head at you. And then you at the end of it, Welch, you was like, to my list, you've got the list that I want.
I said to you, yeah.
So it's just fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you got Sinners, I was for you.
It was a fun episode.
For me, most surprising is tough. I don't think I've been massively surprised by that many films. I guess Thunderbolts was quite a big surprise actually for me. I kind of thought that was going to be a bit of a dud and end up being a very good movie. But I'm going the opposite way of you two. My biggest surprise was Half Nelson. Because
because how bad it was.
Yeah, how bad it was considering the reviews.
The scores. Yeah.
The scores were very good for that
see that.
movie. Everyone was talking about Ryan Gosling's performance, which was great.
Yeah.
But that is one hell of a boring movie. And
Yeah.
I think the only reason I gave it a 4, Andy gave it a 3, and Stephen gave it a... You got so many films, Stephen, it's harder to find yours. You gave it a 3 as well.
Yeah.
It was because of Ryan Gosling. There was nothing
Yeah,
else
and that's
to
the
that
only
movie.
reason it
That was the
got
only
Yeah.
reason. Yeah.
So
I was,
it surprised me on the fact that the internet would tell you that it's a good movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
I also think that was a weird sort of experience in the respect of, as I was watching it, thinking, I really hope that I don't come to the podcast and go, well, that was a complete and utter waste of my time. And then both you go, that was an amazing movie. Because
That
there's always
is-
that fear of like, have I missed something from it? But generally, nothing happens in that movie. Like literally nothing at all takes place. It's only for Ryan Gosling. If he's not in the movie, that's a 0. Seriously.
Yeah, it's bad.
it
It's not the
only
worst
gets
movie
its
of the year,
marks
which
for
we're going
that.
to go to in a minute.
No.
But it was a surprising one for me in that sense. But on a positive side, I'd probably say Thunderbolts because, like as I said in the podcast, I worried about Marvel's where they were going. Captain America was surprisingly good, but not massively surprisingly good. Thunderbolts was a big surprise because I thought that could have been a terrible film. And Fantastic Four, I had high hopes and they met them, so I can't really say it was a surprise that it was good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, makes sense.
For you, it's different, Stephen, because you're not into the MCU like I am. So, well, not
Yeah.
wasn't anyway. Okay, let's go into the next category. My voice is really bad. Best performance. Andy started last time, so let's go with Stephen. An actor or actress that gave the best performance in the last 12 months from TV or movies.
Yeah, so I basically did one for each, if that was all right to do. In terms of movies, I've gone with really only one. There's been some strong performances, but when I was
Hope you
thinking
don't
about
choose
all
the one
of
as
these,
me.
well, I've literally been sitting there thinking about all of the performances. There've been some great ones, some good ones, but I had to go with Leonardo DiCaprio from one battle after another.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think I would be stunned if he doesn't win the Oscars, or the Oscar for that, or at least win a BAFTA. His performance is unreal. Obviously, I wasn't surprised by that because it's Leonardo DiCaprio, but just what he does, his versatility, and just that film anyway, you have to kind of see it to really appreciate his performance. But I thought he was absolutely terrific at that. And similar to like when I saw Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, for what was that last year? Was it this year? Can't
You
remember.
watched it this year. I think you watched
But
it
I
in like
think
January. Yeah.
Oh, I see. But I'm pretty sure because that was in the list of
Yeah.
Oscars for 2024.
Yeah.
And I remember coming out of that thinking his performance is so good. I'd be stunned if he doesn't like win the Oscar. I don't think he did actually, but
No, he
he
didn't, did
came
he?
very close. No, he won the Golden Globe and the BAFTA, but he missed out on
Who won
Best
the
Actor at
Oscar?
the Oscars.
I'll Google
Yeah, I
it.
can't remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of TV, I also had to pick really just one person, and it has to be Stephen Graham in Adolescence
Oh,
because that TV show. I mean, I could have given it to. I want to say I don't know. I can't remember his name in
It's
the show.
Irene
But,
Cooper. I've
oh,
wrote him
Owen
down.
Cooper.
Yeah,
Yeah. So his performance
all
is
mentioned.
brilliant, but I actually think Stephen Graham still show considering that he's writing and working with Jack Thorne on it, so he's doing a lot of good work behind the scenes. But just
just to pause
portraying
you,
this.
Adrian Brody did win. It's the
Oh, he
movie.
won Best
It's the
Actor.
movie that didn't win
Ah, right. I'm with you
because
now. Okay, I knew
Honora won the movie.
that was it. Oh, what a
Another
lovely
shit
movie that
movie.
was.
Let's
Yeah.
not start this argument again, boys.
No, we're not doing that again, Andy. So yeah, I mean, Adolescence was just such a masterpiece, and just to see Steve Graham as this dad that has to come to terms with the fact that his son has committed an awful crime and that he is blaming himself, and like you just really feel that, and you feel his pain, and I just think it was brilliant. It's really hard to pick either Owen or Stephen. I'm leaning more towards him. I just think that that last episode just hit so hard, particularly with that scene in the bedroom, which goes on for ages. And I wanted it to end because it was so uncomfortable when he's coming to the realization that am I to blame for it? So yeah, he was brilliant.
Andy, who's your best performance?
So I will mention Owen Cooper. He wasn't my number one performance, but if we're sort of doing TV and movie, the reason that I choose him over Stephen is because it was his like first thing that he's
Yeah.
ever done. So to show like to go from sort of I was almost believing him at the start of the show to he's actually sort of guilty towards the end of it. It's like yeah, it was an incredible performance from him at his age. But my number one pick, and there could have probably been a couple from this film, but it's an actress called Sally Hawkins. Do you either of you know who that is?
I recognise a name.
I recognise the
She-
name.
Oh,
So she plays a character called
is it Mona Myrtle?
who?
Mona Myrtle.
No. So
She's
she
the one
plays
in
a character
the horror movie.
It's a horror movie.
In Bring Her Back.
That is right. So she plays Laura and Bring Her Back, the sort of
Yeah.
the mum who sort of adopts,
Okay.
fosters the children. I just thought her performance in that film was one of the best that I've seen this year because
Yeah.
I hated her, and that was because she played her character so well. It's almost like the whole Joffrey thing from Game of Thrones. I absolutely hated his character, and that's the sign of good acting. The way that she sort of plays the children against each other while also sort of maintaining this I'm a family mum sort of person, I'm going to look after you. Sort of the things that she was whispering in their ears and stuff, sort of it made you sort of double think what you're actually hearing, like what is she actually up to. Yeah, I just thought it was a great performance, and obviously I quite like that film anyway, but her on top of that, it sort of reminded me of another character that I thought one of you might mention, from a film that I didn't like, but we'll see. But yeah, her performance in that it was great, and it was part of the reason why I enjoyed the film, the way that she portrayed that character.
Yeah, that's a good shout. She was definitely the best in that film. I didn't like that film
Yeah.
as much as you two did, but I still liked it.
I think
Yeah.
what's annoying is that sort of award categories don't tend to go to horror movies. So like she won't be nominated for like an Oscar or a Golden Globe or Academy Award, but she's probably as close in all the horror movies to one that would
This
be
year,
worth
yeah.
being part of that conversation. They look down on horror movies, the Academy Awards.
I
Like
think
you
there
have to look
could
back
be
at
an
the
exception
Exorcist.
this year for horror, and I think it would be
Yeah,
Sinners.
there's a lot.
Yeah,
Sinners, yeah.
but you could also argue the Academy doesn't look at that as a straight up horror movie. They will look at it
Agreed.
more
Yeah.
because it will be in the probably the drama category for
Potentially.
like best performance. And I don't know why they frowned upon the horror genre, because horror genre is like really evolved, and we're seeing top quality performances. Sally Hawkins is a perfect example of that. So yeah, really good shout, Andy.
Yeah, and I did have Michael B. Jordan down as a sort of honorable mention as well, with you mentioning Sinners. So
Yeah,
obviously his role, two characters.
I have to shout out, and I don't. Is this my favorite? I don't think it is, but she deserves a shout out as like my second or runner up because she's had one hell of a year.
Oh,
and now,
Julia.
yeah,
Is it
Julia Garner.
Julie.
Yeah,
Um, 3 films. I know you had mixed feelings on Wolfman. I loved Wolfman. She was great
Yeah.
in that. She was great in Weapons, and she was
yeah,
fantastic in the Fantastic Four film. I just think she's had
Yes.
one hell of a year. So she deserves a shout out. But my one is Michael B. Jordan. His performance in Sinners just blew me away. To do both
yeah.
roles so convincingly, so differently. Um, and Haley
You do.
Steinfeld was great in that. Everyone's great in that film. You know what I think about that film. But I thought he was just phenomenal. And I feel like even though the Creed films were great for him, I think this film is going to make people realize, oh, he's really got the stuff.
Yeah. I think the best compliment that I can give is as I was watching it, I was questioning whether that actually was Michael B. Jordan because he was so versatile in two different roles. I remember turning to Anna going, that is the same person, isn't it? Like it fucking played with my head on actually if they were the same. And that is a compliment. He did. Even though I've still got mixed feelings about Sinners, I didn't rate it as much as like both of you did. Um, it's still a good movie and it's got absolutely insane performances.
Yeah,
I actually think Haley Steinfeld probably edges it just because I think her
she was great.
performance is
But
unreal.
also
And
Jack O'Connor.
Jack O'Connell, yeah, Jack O'Connell.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to see more of him in Sinners. I was thinking, were you going to shout him out for 28 years later, potentially?
Oh, he has a tiny role in 28
Yeah,
years later.
I know,
like,
but
shows up at the end.
but when
That's
he
it.
like comes onto the screen, what he like is dressed at and the impact that he
Yeah.
makes.
I think he could
You
be in
know.
it next year. But
Yeah,
I was going to say, Jack O'Connell would probably win my. We haven't got a category. There's lots of categories that I'm now thinking of that could have been done. Of best movie villain of the year because I thought he was absolutely fantastic at that.
yeah, he was.
Okay, let's go on to a more negative topic. Worst movie of the year.
This one's easy for me, and it's all Steven's fault.
Well, I'll start this one, and mine is my fault. It's Kill List. Kill List is a film that I hated passionately. I gave it a 2.5, and I'm wondering why now. I know why, because the ending shocked me. The ending absolutely shocked me. I think Andy, you said it didn't shock you, but as in like you saw it coming.
Yeah.
The ending shocked me, and it left an impression on me to the point where I was like, I can't give it 1 because I'm thinking about the ending. Like it's a 1 to me would be something that I just look at and never think about again.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, 2.5. Hated it. I think. No offense, Steve. I don't know how you saw anything good in it. I just don't get it, and hopefully you can explain in a minute or whenever. But yeah, I absolutely hated it.
I just think that like the ending because it was so violent and it was so
Very
messed up, but like it just got not interesting. It's the weird word for it, but because nothing happened in the first 20 minutes, like the first 20 to 30 minutes, that's just so bad that the second half of it is just so mind-numbingly violent, but to the point where I was like, I can kind of see what they're trying to do, but like, let me be clear, it still isn't like brilliant, but I was quite
what rating
engaged
did
in the
Steven
second
give it?
act.
Because I
What
thought you
rating
gave
did
it
I
like
give
a 6. Because
What
6
do you
or like
think you gave it,
6.5.
Stephen?
I can't remember what I gave it.
6.
6.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
It's sort of embarrassing because this is like a level of opinions. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I think I just found the third act quite engaging, which is the main reason why I gave it marks. But the first sort of 25 minutes, literally, is so bad. And also,
I
like,
swear
it's
you
hard.
said in the review that you actually quite liked the beginning when he's like
No,
got his kill list.
Stephen.
No.
No, the
You're
kill list bit doesn't happen till I think we all come to that saying the first
That's
15 minutes was just what the fuck is going on.
yeah.
I put words in my mouth. I never ever once
No,
said that,
yeah,
Andy.
no.
The first 20 minutes was dreadful.
It was bad.
When shit started kicking off, I started to get a bit engaged. But then being a horror fan and seeing like mindless like violence over the years, there is part of me that maybe is a bit biased because at least something is happening. Because all this way for I was like, this is an 18 rated movie. Why? What actually happened? And then it starts. I was like, oh, okay. Also, I had the benefit of having Chloe next to me, who sort of made that movie really entertaining by moaning about the sound, how like horrible it was, and when the violent stuff happened, I've never seen her run back to the kitchen to make dinner as fast as possible. So yeah, I've seen worse movies than Kill List, put it that way, this year.
I haven't, and I don't think I have in my life, to be honest.
Oh,
I probably have. I just can't remember them. Stephen, what's your worst movie? Trying to think
So
what it could. Oh, it's up. It's between
are we
two,
gonna
isn't
have
it?
a?
I'm guessing
Are we gonna have
it's Woman in
a?
the Yard or Good
My,
Boy.
oh,
mm,
that's not
no,
what I thought it was. I thought you might
well,
go for the same as me, but
there are a number of different ones that I could pick. Also, I have kind of misread the question because I thought it was worst performance, not worst movie for the last 12
Oh,
months.
oh, no,
So
I wouldn't be horrible to an actor like that.
well, I am going to be a little bit horrible because I actually answered that question with the great, and I mean great, Robert De Niro in Alto Nights,
Mm.
which if I put
that's
that
what I
as my
put down.
worst movie performance, I think I have to put that as the worst movie of
It's
the
not your
year.
worst rated.
It's not. However, if I remember rightly from that review, I gave it marks. What did I give it marks for again?
I
Please
can't
don't
remember.
say that I gave it because Robert De Niro. Because if I gave it marks because Robert De Niro was in it, what did I give Alto Nights?
You gave it a 2. Don't get me wrong. It's a very bad score.
I gave it a 2, and I gave Woman in the Yard and Good Boy a 1.
No, Good Boy was 2 as well. Woman in the Yard was 1.
Gave
Oh my god, how did Good Boy get a 2, man?
So you could argue that rating-wise, the worst movie of the year
Is Woman in the
is
Yard.
The Woman in the Yard. I mean, that was an absolute awful
I guess
movie.
you could also argue though that Alto Nights you had expectations for,
Yeah,
which makes it your
I mean,
worst, personal worst.
I'm probably going to contradict myself because if I know myself as well as I do, I probably said, well, I gave it because Robert De Niro was doing 2 different roles. But equally, he could do so much better than what he did in Alto Nights. So I think
No, I
that
think
kind of
no. I think I remember us saying because we was talking about why the hell is he playing 2 different roles because he wasn't like twin. It was like he was cast for like a completely different character, and it was like, what? Why the fuck is he playing 2 different roles in this film? And he didn't need to do that.
Mm.
It seemed like It seemed lazy.
Yeah,
It was
a lot
not
of the
like
other
he was playing
ones,
the
like
Grey Twins or
Sinners,
like in Sinners.
Twins, or
That
Lucky
Yeah.
17, where it's duplicates.
This
I
made
remember that now.
absolutely no sense. The casting for him playing 2 characters. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
I just want to know why I gave it like 2 marks because it is the worst movie of
There was
the
probably
year.
like one scene in there, like there was probably like one action scene. It's like,
Mm.
oh, that was, or
Yeah.
like at the start where
Or-
he gets,
or maybe I said-
when he gets shot. I like
Yeah.
that bit. That was it.
Thank you,
rings a bell,
Andy.
actually.
No, I
That
did.
does
I
ring a
said
bell.
that I loved the opening sequence because I was like, whoa, and then it did nothing else. So yeah, but I think you're absolutely right, Welchy, in terms of the expectation I had was a lot higher. Where Woman in the Yard I thought was just going to be a standard horror movie that did absolutely nothing. I would say actually in that list it would go Alto Nights, Good Boy, and then Woman in the Yard, even though because Woman in the Yard's got nothing. Like there isn't even a strong performance in the Woman in the Yard where you could say the dog in Good Boy and the opening of Alto Nights.
That sounds
That's
ridiculous,
so
but I
funny.
agree.
we got round there in the end. The thing is, we do so many reviews. I'm trying to work out what the hell did I say, but yeah, I will go with Alto Nights.
Andy, what's yours? I'm guessing
But-
Pearl.
No, mine was Alto Nights as well because I had to sit in the cinema and watch that fucking shit. And I didn't know much about it. Stephen was like, obviously Stephen was speaking about it, and I was like, oh yeah, it's got Robert De Niro and must be a good film. I can't remember what the runtime of this film was, but it felt
1
like
hour
forever.
45.
It felt like 2-3 hours, and like we mentioned on the review, like it starts off with he gets shot straight away, and you're thinking, oh, this is going to be quite an action-packed film. And then it's like nothing happens for the next 2 hours, and I was like, "What the hell?" If I was by myself, I probably would have walked out of that movie.
Ooh.
And it's not often that I say that, or
Yeah.
I've never done that. But it was just so boring. I was like, honestly, finding myself falling asleep watching it.
I actually remember because we went. I think it was like on a Friday night. I remember I wasn't actually feeling too great. But I was like, oh, I'm gonna go anyway. And then in my head, I'm thinking, wish I'd just like stayed at home. It would be better. But what was great is both me and Andy came out of the movie, and we both basically said at the same time, what a fucking pile of shit that was. So we didn't have to have that debate of one person saying it was good, one person saying we were both like, that was what a waste of time. Like that was so bad.
If I was watching Pearl at the cinema, then maybe it would have been a tougher choice for me. But because I watched that at home, I was more comfortable. It was like I was doing it for the podcast. Alto Nights, we chose to go and watch it. It was fucking shit.
Yeah.
After that, I trust Stephen less.
Hang on, in my defense, right, his previous 2 movies were The Irishman and Killers of the Flower Moon. So like How I'm not meant to know. How was I meant to know that it was going to be that bad?
We've got 15 minutes, we've got two categories and other stuff to get through. So we need to speed up a little bit. Favorite
Yeah.
movie review that we have done? Andy?
So I mentioned the bad ones first. So I mentioned like Jaws, Pearl, Kill List, just because like there
Entertaining
was
in
a
the
lot
wrong
of,
way. Yeah.
yeah. So there's a lot of debating in those ones, a lot of mixed views was going against each other. It made it a lot more entertaining, and I always find those ones more when we do those podcasts. When I've watched the film and I've seen like if I potentially seen your rating on Letterboxd Welchy before we go into the podcast, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this is going to be fun because I've rated it either really highly and you've rated it poorly, or vice versa, and the same with Stephen. Um, but my favorite one that actually we done recently was Alien Earth, and
Mm.
it's because we both had sort of similar thoughts on it. I really enjoyed the actual TV show and sort of talking about the characters in and creatures in that show.
Yeah.
There might have been others at the start of the year that I've really enjoyed doing as well, but that one in particular, and also Invincibles, because we're all sort of positive on Invincibles, and the hype and buzz around Invincible at the moment is really high. So that would be another one of my favorites. But I said Alien Earth just because I enjoy talking about the different creatures, in particular the sheep. Um, I don't think we rated it like super highly, but it was a positive review, and those ones I find quite good as well when we do those ones, and we all sort of on the same page and sort of looking forward to the next season of that show coming out.
Yeah, that's a good one. Stephen?
I've said it before in this podcast. It was Zombie Con,
Mhm.
so I won't go into it again. That is my favorite like review that we've done. It kind of set the tone. There was real excitement around it because we did the review and then we went straight into the interview. So it's a really positive experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna. ZombieCon was my runner-up, not because of any other reason other than similar to Andy said about Alien Earth, like the positive. I love the ones where we're negative or like mixed. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the debate inside, but there was a feeling around Fantastic Four where
Yes.
we were just glowing about it. And it's probably
That-
not even
yeah,
as good as we said it was,
actually.
but we felt that. And that episode, we were just like glowing and talk about how good it was, this bit and that
Yeah.
bit. And it's nice to finish a podcast and be positive. And
Yeah.
You feel more
It was-
happy, don't
yeah,
you?
and it's
Yeah.
a weird thing to say, but it just felt like we finished that. And I was like, oh, that was fun. Whereas Kill List,
Yeah.
it was fun, but it's like, and another fucking
Not
thing,
any
and
Kill
this fucking thing pissed me
Yeah,
off, and this
yeah.
pissed me off. Whereas that was so
Did-
positive and so uplifting. I just really enjoyed that one. ZombieCon was great because of what it was, and I could even put that as a surprise as well because I don't really watch many indie movies, and that was so much better than it could have been. So I was pleasantly surprised by
Yeah.
that one, and it was a fun review. But for me, that whole thing, my favorite part was the interview. So I have to
Yeah.
give it to Fantastic Four.
Did we also Fantastic Four would be, if I remember rightly, was the closest that we've all got the same 3 10s? And
I
then me and
didn't.
Andy gave it a 10. I think you
No,
gave it 9.5.
I am yet to give a 10.
But what I mean is
Good,
that is the
Oh, we were
closest
very
in terms
close,
of
yeah.
the highest rating that I can't remember of another movie where we've been like 2 10s and one 9.5 is.
Well,
I was thinking we were going to get the holy trail of 3 10s.
yeah, no, I swear it's currently at 2 10s. I have not watched that movie.
Yeah, you need to watch it.
And Conjuring 2 is both at 10s. I have not watched that movie. So
Oh,
there's
Okay.
opportunities.
potential.
We'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah, that's the only other one that's close is Final. No, I've not watched that. Mission Impossible. Although Andy did give that an
No,
8, I think.
yeah, I was gonna say I didn't rate that as highly as you guys.
And you gave it a 9.5, Welchy.
A 9. And
Oh,
you gave
9.
it a 10, so it's like 10, 9, 8, which is still a very positive, but
Yeah.
Fantastic Four was like the peak.
Yeah, absolutely.
10 minutes left, but this is a really good one. And then I'm going to go into Discord comments. Best moment or scene in a movie or TV show in the last 12 months? Stephen.
I am going down the TV show route. I have to say, it is
Oh.
the entire episode of the
You
Celebrity Creators
bastard.
Final.
I thought he was
Oh.
picking my one.
Nah,
That's a good shout, though.
I imagine I've got a hunch now what you're about to say. In terms of TV moments, that last episode,
That was great.
from
Yeah.
the moment it started, it surprised me. It ended the way that I really wanted it to as well. But I felt in my mind that there was no way that Alan was going to end being victorious, and it was that moment when they voted out
Joe.
Joe. So when they voted out Joe, and then they were talking about the fact that we're now going to end the game and the green light, and after they threw it into the pouch, I was like, oh my God, like me and the whole family went, he's done it. It was like that kind of euphoric moment, and then him breaking down in tears and getting sort of comforted by Nick and David. It was like, wow, what an episode. The whole thing about the traitors is that you want to be surprised, and that finale, that's probably the best season finale. That, like, for me, that was better when Harry, I know when Harry won, that was a mad moment.
The thing with,
when
I don't want to go on this for too long, but the thing with traitors celebrity is that it's not their money. I know they're doing it for charity,
I know.
but Harry won that money for himself, and that girl lost that money because of him. It was just that little bit of extra meaning behind it, you know.
I know, obviously, Harry and Molly, because of the fact that she had backed him and supported him, and he like took it away from it at the last second. And you're right, it's not celebrities' money, but just because of how much I like Alan, and just that I just didn't see it coming. Where I knew that Harry was going to win. That wasn't surprised by that, because he played it so well. I was like, there is no way that he's getting outed at this point.
Yeah.
Where that celebrity episode, I was just so surprised. So that is definitely for me the best moment in terms of TV. Movie, I've seen too many, so I can't pick one.
That's fair enough.
There's been so many great moments.
Andy, what's your one?
I kind of wish I picked what you're going to pick, Welchy, because I have a feeling I know what that's going to be now. And I completely forgot about that whole last episode. But yeah, that's going to be a good one for you to talk about. One of my best moments is actually in a film that you haven't watched yet, so I'm not going to go into too many details on that one, but it was seen in Final Destination Bloodlines, and you can probably imagine there's pretty quite a few from there. So I'm going to pick my other one just because I can't go into detail. But the other one I went for is to do with Fantastic Four, and it is the arrival of Silver Surfer in when she goes to Earth and she gives that whole speech, and she's like, she ends with like "Hail Galactus," and that I watched it back earlier. That whole scene like just gives you goosebumps, like the sound, the way she's speaking. All the people and the Fantastic Four just standing there listening. It just felt like such a powerful moment in the movie. And you're thinking like, fuck, she's here serious, like she's a serious potential villain in this film. And yeah, you just felt like, oh shit, what are they gonna do? But that whole speech just gave me goosebumps, and it still does. So
yes, a great shout.
Ask quickly, are you talking about, is it the opening of Final Destination Bloodlines?
No, it's halfway through. It's to do with the guy that works in the tattoo shop.
Oh, in the trailer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that scene, but it's that guy.
I know what bit you're on about. Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about mine in detail. I'm just going to go my three. My three, third place was Fantastic Four. Not that bit, but when they're escaping Galactus and she's reaching for the baby.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
moment.
The stress of that scene is insane.
We spoke about that at the time of the review, saying how stressful that scene was. Yeah.
Second place is the music section. I call it the music section. There's multiple music bits. But in Sinners, the bit where they're rotating around the room, it's got all the different eras.
I know what you mean.
Fuck me, what a moment. Easily my favourite moment in a movie this year. But my favourite moment is Invincible, Season 3, Episode 8, I think. Whatever the last episode number was.
Yeah, Episode 8.
I could have picked so many moments in Invincible Season 3. But the fight with Conquest as a whole is just the way I get goosebumps on stuff like Fantastic Four and other things, and the Traitors final, where me and Tay were up like saying, "Oh my god, he's fucking done it!" Blah blah blah. I was on a train watching Invincible on my phone, and I could feel my blood pumping. Right, I could feel the goosebumps. I was like, I was looking around like, is anyone else watching this? Like, this is fucking amazing. What is everyone else doing? I just walked into work after that thinking, what have I just watched? That's like some of the best shit I've watched in a long time.
It's like a 30-minute moment. It's like
unbelievable.
That whole episode is just like one moment. It's just like one smooth sequence.
I actually think that if I had to pick one Invincible moment, it would actually be in, I think it's episode 2 with Seesaw and Invincible fighting.
Again, amazing.
That moment, because that moment for me was what took Invincible from this is actually really good to this is unbelievable. And apart from one episode, in season 3. That whole every episode was just a fire, and then you get to that finale. Because I was sitting there thinking, you guys keep banging about this last episode. How can they top it? And they did top it, and I was like, oh. I was about like 10 minutes into the last episode. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it now. And it was made me cry, which any series that makes me cry and then stops me crying very quickly, I'm like, yeah, that's a positive in my eyes.
So that's our award show finished. I did ask on Discord for anyone's submissions. Biggsy didn't give his submissions, but he did write in saying about his favourite moments from our podcast. And he said, for me, it has to be the Pearl review as the favourite one that you three have done for... Because obviously we had varied thoughts. Stephen loved it. I was more middle, and he did not like Pearl. Jack wrote in, and apologies because my voice is very bad, so I will keep pausing. So for number 1, which is his surprise of the year, he said Severance. Even though it was the second season, that was new. He only started watching it this year, and it caught his way up. Unbelievable show, instantly hooked. And leaves you asking 100 questions, which I need to watch that show. I've heard great things, but haven't got around to it. Performance, he agreed with you, Stephen. Leonardo DiCaprio, or Benicio del Toro in One Battle After Another.
Yeah. There's that anyone in that film really you could pick.
Worst movie of the year is going to wind you to. I don't want to wind you up, but you're going to not agree. He said the latest Conjuring movie.
Oh yeah, so I saw him say that. I don't know what other films Jack has watched, so if his list of movies is quite
smaller,
high, smaller and higher quality, then I can understand that being bottom in this list.
Yeah.
But where we've watched so many stuff,
he was on our review for 28 years later, so.
But he liked that though.
So did I. For his favorite review, he said even though it wasn't a review, so he's kind of given us a favorite episode instead. Our greatest horror movie list, which is obviously a good one that we did this year. And then his favourite scene is, which is one for you, Stephen, the road shot from One Battle After Another, where it's tracking the hills of the road. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's outrageous, and it just goes on for so long. And it was that moment of just that whole last 40 minutes, like similar to what you said about Invincible. My blood was pumping. I turned around and went, "This is unreal." So yeah, I completely get that.
Thank you for Biggsy and Jack for writing in as always. I will also say special shout out to the last scene in 28 Years Later when they do the Power Rangers bit. Unbelievable.
Fuck off.
So that is basically it. But before we do wrap up, I do want to just talk about the future of this podcast. So obviously next year, loads of amazing reviews to come. Andy mentioned some at the beginning, but you got Avengers Doomsday, assuming nothing gets delayed, obviously. The next Spider-Man, Brand New Day, which will have Sadie Sink in it. June 3 is obviously one that I'm particularly looking forward to. Toy Story 5. There's so many movies that we're going to be looking
at.
Scream 7 for you two. I won't be watching that one, but you two will be. More quizzes. Even though we're going to wrap up our quiz for this year, we'll be starting a new quiz next year. Who will take the crown this year? Next year, we'll find out. We have our own growth targets. That's just something we're going to keep internal. We don't share those things. But that is obviously going to continue to happen. We're planning on doing another review series. So like our A to Z one, something else. So once A to Z is done, we will reveal that. We've not fully agreed and decided on that yet, but we've chucked some ideas out and we have a rough idea what it might be. But the Z movie will be sometime next year anyway, and then we'll start our next one. And finally, we hope to interview more directors, actors, and producers because we love doing it. We love doing it with ZombieCon, and we hope to do it again. So that's the plans. I guess the biggest thing to take there is that we will be doing another A to Z, not A to Z, but another series. We are planning to do something. If you have suggestions, by all means, send them in. But we do have an idea of what we're going to be doing.
We're going to interview Quentin Tarantino by the end of next year.
That would be the dream, for you especially. But that is going to do it for tonight's episode of the Late Night Movie Podcast. We really hope you've enjoyed this celebration. Please feel free to send in more comments, anything you want to talk about our podcast or our award show. Let us know. Drop your thoughts in the comments or tag us on socials at the Late Night Pods. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed the episode, please make sure to follow and subscribe wherever you're listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. So you don't miss next week's episode, I should say. And speaking of the next episode, we are reviewing Uncut Gems as part of our A to Z movie series. We're literally about to do it right now after I press stop on this one. You're not going to want to miss it. I think it's going to be a good episode. Thank you for hanging out and putting up with my voice and my coughing today. I've been your host, Welchy, and my co-hosts have been Andy.
Yeah, thank you as always, guys. It's been a pleasure. It's been exciting talking about the last 12 months. And yeah, feel free to send us some birthday cake if you want to.
I didn't think of that. That's a good idea. And Stephen.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure as always, and here's to the next 12 months of the greatest movie podcast on the planet. Yeah,
Thank you all for
sounded way too
listening,
much.
and we'll see you next time.